Hello, everybody, for another episode, the third episode of YELLIT!
Yell it, yell it, yell it, yell it, yell it from the mountain.
This time with an amazing artist, multi-talented artist.
Please remember who I am.
Secretary Field would like to speak with you.
With me?
One of the deceased was Sal Frizella, capital in the Shirelli family. Bomb went off on his regular table.
Oh, God. We got a man on the roof. We're gonna need fire, paramedics, and animal control.
David. Warehouse coming up. That's always a payday, right?
Agate, you wrote of the enemy?
Yes. Deep in the bayou, a dangerous imposter spreads real roots.
You ever visit the Conical trailer? Let me explain it. And here's where you get screwed.
Tristan D. Lalla. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome you. Hello. Glad to be here.
Today, I'm sitting at the Goethe Institute in Toronto. And behind me, you see a little installation by Ricarda Rogan from Germany. And there are gray walls and black and white photography of cameras, in historical cameras. And I'm wearing a traditional Ethiopian dress. My hair is up again, and I have black earphones on and huge earrings, golden earrings. How about you, Tristan?
I'm in Toronto right now in an apartment that is not mine because I'm here in Toronto working. You'll see a Clockwork Orange poster that's not mine because I don't like that movie. You'll see other art for Jaws and stuff that's not mine because why? I'm wearing a hoodie from One Bone, a Montreal clothing company that I rep. My hair is naturally curly. I have a pimple starting on my forehead and my gray hair is coming in.
Beautiful, thank you. What drink did you bring us today?
So today I'm drinking, I'll show you, well, it's here in my mug. I'm drinking some tea. So this is, I'll do this first.
Wow.
So it's my own blend of eucalyptus, mint, and some other herbs that just with some hot water that keeps the body, hydrated and flowing. So that is what I'm drinking today. Yeah.
Great. Sounds very healthy. And as if I knew it, I brought a very healthy drink as well.
Hey, all right.
Dark greens. So it's like kale and what is the word? I don't know the other green that's in there. It will come back. And apple. And it's really, to be honest, it's a little bit like medicine, but I know it's good. You just drink it and you're like, I need that right now. But
cheers.
Let's start. I always like to let the guests introduce themselves.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tristan D. Lalla. I am born in Montreal, designed in Trinidad, stolen from Africa. City, country, continent, the whole thing. So I am an actor. I am an artist. I'm a lover. I am sensitive and strong. And I love life a lot. That's me.
Wow, that's amazing. That's powerful. I always start with a quick question round. What scene of a movie gives you the chills?
Every single time in The Matrix 2 Reloaded when Neo is fighting 1,000 Agent Smiths. Every time, goosebumps.
What do you mean every time? How many times do you watch that?
The Matrix is like my Bible. At least once a month, I'll watch all 3 movies.
What songs do you play on loop?
On loop, I have a lot of India Ari strength, courage, and wisdom. Or I have some Thai dollar sign on loop a lot these days. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a mix between like healing meditative music and like ratchet club shit.
Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I would consider myself an extrovert today. When I was a kid, I was definitely introverted, but I am not that.
When did that change?
So I think we'll come to this as well a lot in this, but so I couldn't really speak until I was about 8 years old. I used to stutter and I'd get nosebleeds and like I'd just stay quiet. And then one day I just told myself I don't want to be like this. And I stopped stuttering. I used to lock myself in the bathroom with books and practice how to read out loud. The day I felt like the dam open and the floodgates kind of just flow of just being able to communicate verbally. My communication was visual. It was tactile. It was visceral. It wasn't verbal. So I would paint what I felt. I would draw it. I would compose it. I would sculpt it. I would break it, and then I would make it. I love to destroy things and create things. I love to make things from destruction. I think I am made from destruction, and in many ways. But because I couldn't speak, that's how I got not just my thoughts across, but my art across. And so when it became time to go to high school, I got involved in public speaking and a lot of just speaking my mind in different ways, student council, variety show club, hosting the shows at school and all that. And then when I decided it was time to go to theater school after high school, it was kind of a natural progression for me. I also come from a family of musicians, so that's a whole other thing.
Right. Maybe I missed something before you continue.
Sure.
So you had that problem of like expressing yourself through language, if I understand correctly. So you used all these other painting, sculpturing, and whatever to express yourself. But I still have a little gap from like there to public speaking.
Sure. So I come from a family of musicians, and also like my whole family's from Trinidad, and very loud, very opinionated, very like, you're gonna talk or else you're not gonna get fed, or like, if there's a fire, you better scream or something because we're gonna leave you behind type of love. So when it came time to me tapping into, I have something to say, and not just do I have something to say in here, I know how to say it now from here. I would really find ways to incorporate that in my schoolwork, in my projects at school, and get involved in stuff in school that gave me that freedom to actually speak my mind now that I had the ability to. So pretty much that. And there was a natural like performative essence in my family of being on stage. My grandfather is very world-renowned for what he's done and stuff like that.
He invented the steel drum? Is that true?
Yeah, my mother's father.
Oh my goodness! So
Rudolph Charles was his name, and I have a lot of cousins that are really well known worldwide for what they do. We all kind of, I grew up watching them, and we spent Christmases and stuff together. So all of that is kind of in my blood, in my family, and I didn't want to be them, but I saw that if they can do it, I can do it too. Because I saw myself in them a lot. So when I realized that I wanted to do it and then I had something to say, I said, okay, let me do what I want. And when people said, you should probably do something real, be a doctor, be a lawyer, I said, no. I put my foot down. I said, I'm going to go to theater school. I'm going to do what I want. And I did.
Mr. Thompson, can't we discuss this reasonably? I know I missed a few payments, but I was planning...
And 2 court appearances. You also sold your property upstate, but didn't report it to the IRS.
Yes, as I said, I was planning on making...
You have 2 hours to collect any personal effects, and then I need you to leave the premises. It's now government property. If you need help packing, we'll assist you.
And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy. It's hard. But I did it because I wanted to do it, and this is what I have to say. So I guess my body became my tool for my art and my expression.
You went to theater school, and then for you, was it straight up clear that from all the things you could possibly do, that theater or acting on camera was the one thing that you really wanted to commit to?
Yeah, since I was like, this is the weird part. So when I was around the same time that I was able to find ways to overcome my stuttering and my stammer, I saw a play when I was a kid that had a young Black man as one of the lead characters. And since that day, I knew that I wanted to do that. And my whole life, I just knew, I'm going to be an actor. That's what I'm going to do. And like fast forward to like maybe 11 or 12 years ago, actually, I worked for the same theater company that put on that play. And before every show in that same theater, I would go and sit in the seat that I sat in when I was like 6 or 7 and talk to whatever kid was going to be sitting there, and maybe they can see themselves in me when they saw the play.
You mentioned earlier on that it has been really hard for you sometimes, right? And it is hard, you know, and I'm an actor too, so I know like the different phases of creativity and what, like all the nice and not so nice parts of acting. What would you consider something that's hard?
I'll say this. A lot of time we get the very surface questions from friends and family who come to see shows or see us on TV, whatever, that say, oh my God, how'd you remember all those lines? As if that's the hard part. Because that's the bare minimum. That's step one, is memorize your lines. But all of the other work comes way before and way after that, obviously. But yeah, I'll say this. I am so grateful that I get to do what I love and what I want to do. And I think that me being able to access the full range of my emotions has taken me my whole life's work. So a lot of the roles I get to play and all the voice work I get to do and all that stuff is truly because I know that I'm able to access the full range of my emotions.
You do need to work on your aim. But you know what? You don't need to worry about mine. Because you're the garbage guy who comes to work dressed in a suit instead of a jumper, which is fucked up. So all you gotta worry about is getting this shit into that shit. You know why?
Because I'm not a coach.
Exactly. Because you're the king pilot shit.
And so to be able to dive into that, I think is the biggest task that also takes the most out of me and every other actor. It's because you can't act outside of yourself. It's part of you. Yes, you're living imaginary circumstances in the moment and all that, but you're still your body doesn't know whether you're traumatized or not, for real.
Yeah.
And so when it comes time to come out of that, as you know, I've seen you on stage many times when you did for Color Girls, right? Like that's a piece. And afterwards, when you get home, you got to be like, don't talk to me, don't touch me. Like, where's my food? Like, just because your body's still going through that, even if you've logged out 2 hours ago.
Very generic question, but I know that your answer will be gold. Anyway, what does acting hold? Like, what does it mean to you? And then connected to that, the question, how would you define art? What is art to you?
I always think back to one of my professors in theater school in college. His name was Bertrand D. Henry. He was also from Trinidad, ironically enough. And he was the greatest teacher I've ever had. So Bert would say, acting is, it's 7 points. Oh, I'm gonna forget this and he's probably gonna haunt me from the grave. I'm sorry, Bert. He would say acting is the art and craft of imaginatively becoming someone else temporarily by use of your body, voice, and mind. And for me, that's the greatest like technical definition of what acting is. I guess like on another level though, what acting means for me, it is, like I said before, it's my way of expressing myself by putting up mirror to society so that we can see ourselves in a truthful way. I don't critique my own work because whatever, but I like to think that my work is pretty honest and that I try to like portray true characters or complex people who people can see themselves in. So I think it's my job as an actor to show people themselves or aspects of themselves so that they can be like, huh, am I leaving this planet better than how I left it?
I've seen you as Dr. Martin Luther King in The Mountaintop by Katori Hall. Tell us a little bit about how did it come to that point that you played that role? Was it a dream role for you? And how was it for you?
I would give all praise to the show in 2 words, Letitia Brooks. So my wife, Letitia, we came back to Toronto to see the production, which was starring Kevin Hanchard and Alana. Oh my goodness, what's her last name? I'm so sorry. It was amazing. Kevin and Alana were amazing. And after the show, Letitia turned to me and she said, okay, so we have to do this. I said, okay.
Need anything else before I go?
Actually, if you got a cigarette.
Cigarettes and coffee. That ain't no doubt befitting of a preacher.
Judge not, and ye shall not be judged.
Honey, I hears that. I guess if you was at home, you'd be eating more right.
I suppose.
What you miss the most she make?
Egg sandwiches.
I like them too. Make one every day for myself.
Yeah, so we started rehearsal literally a few weeks after our wedding. So instead of a honeymoon, we had a rehearsal.
That was a crazy year anyway, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we did the show in Montreal. We did the show in Halifax. We did the show in Ottawa. While we were doing the show in Montreal, I was also shooting a movie at the exact same time, which was insane. And just diving into that script and Katori Hall's words and the imaginative circumstances of what could have happened to Dr. King the night before he was assassinated was just like a big old playground. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I was terrified, and that's why I knew I had to do it. And I know, like, to this day, every actor who does that show, and I definitely agree, like, I'm not afraid of anything.
Can you tell us a little bit about the director, which is also, she's also a Canadian legend, I'd say.
Yes. So Audrey Zena Mandela, love Audrey, my God. She approached the work with such care, and just every moment had like layers and blossoms to it. And it was amazing. Audrey started a company called Be Current here in Toronto years ago, which definitely centered around producing work of Afro-Caribbean women at the forefront. And it was interesting because she came into the project knowing that it was Letitia and I already attached. Usually it's the director chooses their cast, but yeah, so, but it was a beautiful marriage. So it was great.
To everyone, I met Tristan before, but also I got to know Tristan a bit better during the AMP program, which is an artist mentorship program in Montreal, organized and led by BTW, Black Theatre Workshop, the oldest Black focused and run theater company in Canada. And so I think it was, for me, very inspiring having you in the room as one of the mentors. And even though you weren't, I was not particularly your mentee, I feel like I've learned so much from you, and you were like mentoring me as well, even though you didn't have to. It wasn't your obligation. And also in the things you post on social media, there's always like an uplifting, inspiring message, as if this mentorship is just part of your life. It's part of who you are. Even today on social media, I saw like, hey, you're beautiful. And I just heard the voice, like I heard your voice in my head saying that. And I was like, thank you, Tristan. It's like the mirror talking to you. So do you feel that? Is that just in my mind? Or do
No,
you
no,
really
it's
feel that responsibility?
absolutely. Like, so every time I've said yes to any type of mentorship, relationship or program, I don't take it lightly. Over the years, I've mentored 11 people, some through Black Theater Workshop, some through the National Arts Center in Ottawa. And some through Dawson College, where I went to theater school as well. And when I say yes to being connected to somebody in that way, I'm saying yes to them. I'm saying yes to them as a person, them as an actor, them as an artist. I'm saying yes to myself 30 years ago. I'm saying yes to myself 20 years ago, that I never had that and I wish I did. And so how can I at least help someone going through that right now, just to ease the growing pains of it? Because oftentimes we don't have that. We don't have somebody to talk to. And again, not to like toot my own horn or whatever, but like sometimes I forget all the things that I've done. And and like I've done a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't mind like helping people. Like there's enough to go around. I firmly believe that. I don't believe in the competition. Like what's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. You can't have what's mine because it's mine. And it's gonna come to me regardless. So let's not do that. And
Yeah.
I don't mind helping people get to the point where they can claim what's theirs. So like, yeah, all the people that I've mentored, it's like, it's a friendship really. And I tell them day one, I'm not gonna chase you. Like you can call me anytime. And when it's like, when we gotta work on stuff, we're gonna work on stuff. And I'm not gonna be light with you. I'm gonna push you, because you can't just be good. Like I was always taught that being good is not enough. You have to be 10 times better than everybody else, because they already see you as less than. So
yes,
I
know this narrative too well.
Yeah, so that's where I'm coming from with mentorship stuff for sure.
When we talk about that, like the negative experiences that we endure on stage and also off stage, behind the scenes, does it usually take some time for you to reflect on it after the show is closed, that you realize, okay, this was like insane, I'm never going to do this again? Or is it more that you in the moment obviously realize this is not good and I don't want to be here, but I'm going to finish this and then I know? The reason why I'm asking that is because I think life is like that, it's not a straight line. We go like that, and I feel like it can be very interesting for others to see how do you manage with like the lows and the very challenging situations.
Yeah, I would say I knew right away. Some things we're able to act on quicker than others, in terms of creating boundaries or understanding my own boundaries, or maybe years later even understanding why that bothered me. I recently had a conversation with somebody like 2 weeks ago about something that happened 10 years ago backstage. And I didn't realize that I had been sitting with it, not in anger, not in resentment, but just in like, we need to acknowledge that this happened. And the person was very open to it and very mature about it, which I appreciated. And I was like, wow, why didn't I say something back then? But because I felt like I didn't. So often we're taught that we are the problem. If you name the problem, then you're the problem.
Yeah.
Especially being the only Black person in the space.
Yeah.
What I'll say is, oftentimes, especially out of theater school, a lot of actors, a lot of young actors, a lot of young Black actors, a lot of young Black female actors and young Black male actors are asked to do things that are very questionable, to be the token, to be the all-encompassing Black everything, to be mystical, to be magical, to be whipped, to be dead a lot, to do a lot of shit that people further on in their careers would not be asked to do, or white people wouldn't be asked to do, frankly. But because we're young and we're out of school and we're susceptible and all this stuff, you know, they see it that we should be grateful for the opportunity. And if anybody watching this is right out of school or whatever, like, you're allowed to say no early on. Sometimes should you? Only you can make that choice, but you don't have to say yes to everything. I'll say that.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the million things you've done. And we are obviously in this time frame not going to come to all of it because we would sit here for hours. Let's talk about the most recent things. Right now, you are in Toronto, and due to COVID, we can't really sit next to each other, but we're both in the same city. But you are shooting for a brand new series, Nurses.
All right, fresh meat. Listen up. I'm your charge nurse, Damien, but you can call me Sir, or Sir Damien, or Damien, sir. All right. Get into your fatigues and meet head nurse O'Rourke in the atrium ASAP. Welcome to St. Mary's.
In Nurses, your character, Damien,
Yes.
is the lead nurse. And
yeah, he's one of the head charge nurses at the hospital. We're on season 2. Season 1 is aired. It's airing also in parts of Europe and Africa right now, which is awesome. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that until recently. So we're on season 2. We started shooting off the top of the year around February, and then because of COVID-19, we shut down. So now we are back at it. Very safe. I've never seen a place in my life more safe with protocols, and the irony that we're already in a hospital is like very like everything is like bubble wrapped. We're being tested twice a week with COVID tests.
Wow.
I was there this morning with a stick up my nose again. Oof. I don't like it, but I will take all the sticks up my nose to be able to be working, because the whole break that we had to take was really hard and nobody was working. And right now, most actors are not working. So
yes,
I know better than to open my fool mouth and complain.
Another movie that I think came out last year. Well, it's the one that you referred to earlier on, where you said you were.
Oh yeah.
You were on set, like craziness rehearsals for the mountaintop, and out of a sudden, like you booked this huge part in this huge Hollywood production, The Long Shot.
We did almost just die.
We actually did almost die. We need to move you.
Thank you, Agent M.
We had a situation.
Huh? I'm in so much trouble.
What's happened? Are they out of water?
I had so much fun watching that. I enjoyed it so much. So it's what is it? A comedy?
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy.
It's a romantic comedy.
One of the good ones, I think. I'm biased, but
yeah.
We were in rehearsal for the mountaintop, and I had the audition. I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. Whatever. What do? You do the audition. You show up. You do your best. I go in. Whatever. Do the audition. 2 days before we open the show, Benita. 2 days. They offered the role, and my first thing is, wow, this is crazy. And they're like, yeah, but to do this, you have to leave this show you're doing, little theater show, Mountaintop. I'm like, no, I'm turning it down. And then they were the casting directors, who I'm very close with, they were like, Tristan, you're not listening. This is Charlize now. I'm like, I know who it is. I know Seth. Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I'm committed to doing a show with my wife right now that we've taken years to get done. She has taken years to, make space for the show, and I'm not doing it. So bye. And then the director, John Levine, shout out to Jonathan. He called me up and he was like, "Hey man, I'd really love to work this out." I'm like, "Me too." He's like, "Yeah, maybe we can work around your theater schedule." I said, "Okay," and then they did, and that never happens. It never happens.
Congratulations, for sure, for this beautiful movie. Agent M was your role.
Yeah.
Very powerful, and you traveled quite a bit for that film as well, right?
Yeah, because we shot all over Montreal, and then we also went to Colombia for about a week, which was just amazing. Oh my god, the stories I cannot tell. Oh, the stories.
The stories that stay in Colombia. You are part of a super, super famous, loved, and worldwide known computer game.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what
video game.
Yeah. Like,
oh my goodness! Like,
yeah.
Do you tell us about it? Like, when did you
sure.
start doing video game and Assassin's Creed? Like, tell us about it.
So I started my first gigs in the gaming industry about 12 years ago.
Wow.
And to date, I have done about 50 games.
50.
50.
Sure.
A lot of voice work, a lot of mocap, motion capture in the suit with the whole thing, a lot of performance capture in the mocap suit. I have been part of 9 Assassin's Creed games. I've played lead characters in 3 of them. His name is Adewale.
Yes.
He has his own little trilogy in the franchise.
He has you have little mini action figures.
I do, yeah. There's 3 of them.
There's a Lego. Cool.
There's a Lego one. There's a Todd McFarlane one. There's another one.
Do you have them?
Home. Yeah, of course. In a glass case at home, I have them all, and I have some that are like unopened, just for like years from now, hopefully.
I'm definitely gonna get them. Just so you know, I'm gonna get them.
An opportunity beyond imagination. These scientists aim to record navigational secrets for our beloved kings to use at war. But we can seize them to extraordinary advantage for my brotherhood and the Maroon. We need only supply literate recruits, and the rest will take care of itself.
I do a lot of voices for games and commercials and stuff, so yeah.
So how does that, how is this different to your other acting gigs on screen or on the theater stage?
It's not, to me, I don't see it as different at all. Like,
okay,
obviously the work is different and the medium and the technique is different, but it's all bringing a truthful character to light.
Exactly.
And especially when it's only, the irony of it is I was that kid who couldn't speak, and now I make most of my living verbally. So
that is amazing.
Yeah, it's
and
wild.
That is, yeah, it's in a way it's a miracle, but at the same time it must be so encouraging. What I also want to talk about is you have been elected this year as National Council of ACTRA. Was that this year? That was this year.
I've been on National Council for 3 years.
So ACTRA is for everyone who's not in Canada, it's the union. It's the Alliance of Canadian Cinema, Television, and Radio Artists.
There's every city has a different branch, of course, and then there's the National Council. So I sit on the Montreal Council in Montreal, as well as I'm the chair of the Montreal Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and I sit on National Council, and I'm also the national chair of Diversity and Inclusion. So there's a lot going on right now, especially with all of the conversations of anti-Black racism and, Black Lives Matter, and just how it affects our industry and people being respected on set and work opportunities and all this stuff. So there's been 1,000 emails every day. Oh my God. but it's all worth it because we're all just trying to make this place better than how we found it voluntarily.
As the national chair, what's your vision for diversity inclusion in Canada for ACTRA?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the people who are having conversations like that are only now having conversations like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my response to that is usually, look, it's not about my vision. It's like, this has been going on and happening and work has been done. We're not reinventing the wheel. So let's just start listening to the things that have already been in place and just work together instead of trying to like, you know, pass the buck to like, you have the answers. You have the answers. It's like, no, we have the answers and we're here and we've been saying it. So let's just do the work together. Yeah, it's very stressful times.
but does that now, honestly, like real talk, do you have the feeling that right now things will actually change and things will be different and people are more earnest, more willing to really listen and put actions into place?
Will people listen? Yes. Will people want to put action into place? Yes. Are they earnest? Yes. Will actual change happen? No. Like, we're a far way off from actual systemic changes to the industry and what the ripple effect of what that means for BIPOC performers and creatives and producers and writers. And there's so much work to be done at the ground level, at the roots, because it's not just about, cast Black people in other roles. It's who's funding it, who's writing it, who's producing it, why, what's your vision of that? And if the whole vision of that doesn't support an actual performer of color, a Black performer playing that role, what are we really doing? So and then the work is being done again at all those levels because there's a lot of people putting in the work.
Exactly.
But now it's all being heard. So change is coming. It's I don't know that I will see it the way that I would like to, but it's
Let's
coming.
hope so. Let's hope so. What are your personal goals?
All my personal goals that I will share are not they're not connected to my profession. It's more life stuff, family stuff. You know, I would love to own a house and a car. I don't own a car. I would like to. Happy, healthy children someday. That's on the list. You know, I just want to stay healthy. Got the hand sanitizer over here. But yeah, it's just like, you know, the longevity, health, wealth, knowledge of self, all that stuff. The project stuff, some wheels are already turning. Some, I know there's, what I learned last year in a way that I didn't realize is that whether you know it or not, and especially for you too, whether you know it or not, your name is being spoken of in rooms you don't even know that you haven't entered yet. And like when that happens, it's like, oh, how'd you know who I was? Like, oh yeah, no, they spoke about, like, really? Okay. And that happens a lot. And when you're made aware of it, it's like, oh, okay, so how do I harness this power?
Another thing is, how do you feel supported the most?
Everything is communication, but between others, between other humans, between the environment, and between our environments, our spaces, like how you talk to yourself, not just verbally, but energetically, spiritually, is everything. And you really do reap what you sow. So sometimes we're not conscious of what we're sowing. So I feel the most supported when I am surrounded by like good energy and like love.
We are approaching the end of the third episode of YELLIT. People, look him up. look him up. That's all I'm going to say, because there's so much to talk about and speak about. While you're thinking about what you can yell in the end, I'm just going to say thank you so much for taking this time in the middle of shooting your like off day, COVID check, and then YELLIT interview to be with us. And I found out today about the meaning of your names, right? Like Tristan and Duran, by the way. Yeah, your middle name, French, like Duran, like endurance, and strong. So thank you for sharing your strength and giving us, showing us examples of endurance. And now I would like to ask you to yell whatever vibrations you want to give into the world.
Do I think that I'm better than anyone else? No. I know that I'm better than who I was yesterday, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I know that it's my job to leave this planet better than how I found it. And there is no spoon from the Matrix. There is no spoon. That's awesome. If you know the Matrix, you know what that means. Yeah.
Thank you, Tristan D. Lalla, for blessing us and being with us today in this third episode of YELLIT. And please tune in again next week for the fourth episode with another wonderful guest. Bye. See you then.
YELLIT, 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 YELLIT from the mountain.